What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and as we start Michael Jordan week, let's start with Michael Jordan's number. Told you you'll learn things you didn't know, or probably just didn't know. Michael Jordan wore the number 45. That was his number. He loved it. It was his first number he was ever given, and he loved that number. His brother wore 45 when he was once he went to varsity, but his brother had wore another number when he was in a Farsoft, which means freshman and sophomore class, for those who don't know. So once Michael came up, his brother was already, you know, moved to a junior. So when Michael came in, he was 45. So when his brother became a senior and he was moved on to the varsity team, his brother was already 45. So he had to switch his number, which was half of that, which was what he said 22 and a half, which you can't have that. So 23 ended up becoming his number. In the Olympics, that's why Michael Jordan wore the number 9, because 9 is 4 and 5. So there you know that. A little bit of history for you. But the 23 was now born. Now, going into his professional career, coming out of college, Michael Jordan went through a lot of obstacles. Now, the passion coming from college, he had to learn how to control his competitive nature. When he was in college, Michael was so competitive, it was addictive. He wanted to win at no cost, no matter what. He had to win, whether it was cards, whether it was Monopoly, whether it was, if the game kept going, the more the competitive juices in him flowed. He once played a Monopoly game and it kept going on and on and on till it was like nobody was gonna win. But Michael loved it because the drive of the it keeps going and somebody gets the momentum, then somebody lands on a prop, and it just kept going and going and going. He wanted to see who was gonna win. So the game was going for hours, and then the other guy was like, I'm tired, Mike. I can't do this no more. Mike's like, what you mean? Let's finish the game. We gonna finish the game. And the guy's like, man, you know what? You win, man. I'm done. And Mike just slapped the pieces off the table. Bah! Damn. Because he's like, Mike, man, we got class coming up in a couple hours. We had no sleep. I'm tired. But Mike was such the competitive guy that he didn't want that game to quit. He wanted to continuously have this game go on, and on, and on. He didn't want it to rest. He wanted to have people continuously into the zone like him. So after this was over, Michael started going to cards. And he was getting Mike playing more card games than board games because they would end quicker. And you would have a winner or a loser. And this is where Mike started playing cards a lot and competing. And he always wanted to battle on the court. So James Worthy would play him one on one and beat him in spots, and Mike would beat him, he'll beat him. So they played a best of 5 games, and James Worthy won 3 games to 2. And when James won the third game, he wouldn't give Michael the rematch. Michael was pissed. And he knew, James knew what he was doing. He was like, I know what I'm doing. He's like, I'm building this guy. He's like, you know what? Take it out on the court. When you get on the court, take it out on the court. Take that competitive rage, put it on the court. But you gotta learn control. Because if you don't know how to control it, other people will use it to let you destroy yourself. And it happened. Once Michael Jordan as a freshman hit that shot to win the national championship, when there was no more James Worthy, and they had a great team. They had big long arm Sam Perkins. And all of a sudden, they kept losing in the tournament. Michael had these unbelievable games, but when it came to the big games in college, they knew how to isolate him to make him try to risk it and take shots he probably shouldn't be taking and cost the team. And they knew how to make the other guys take the shots rather than have Michael Jordan do it. And it was that competitive rage that he had, the drive, and Michael wanted to do more and felt that he could, but Dean Smith wouldn't let him because he was trying to teach Michael. I know you could tear up the college ranks. There's no college players that can deal with you. You know, your talent wise, you'll destroy them. I have to teach you to play within the system because when you go to the NBA, that is how winning is done. You're not going to win. You're going to score a lot, but you're not going to win at that level playing that style of basketball. So he had to be reined in order to do that. So Michael Jordan, at this point in his life, had to make some changes. So staying up in his dorm room, his girlfriend at the time was telling him, you know, you gotta focus and refocus yourself and, you know, start creating, you know, training habits. Like at this time you do this, at that time you do this. And Michael didn't like that. He didn't like the structure around his game. He didn't need anybody to tell him to practice or make a time to do this and that. He was so disgusted with the way they lost that he was coming back his sophomore year, that he wanted to come back his junior year and prove that he was a better basketball player than what he was his sophomore year. And he was almost at awe at a lot of people his sophomore year. He kind of broke out. But his junior year, he wanted to show him that, like, I'm tough. You're not going to be able to bully me or get me out of my game. I'm going to show you who I am this junior year. So Michael, at night, stopped the card games, really stopped the board games, goofing around, and he started to get more serious because he had a plan. He wanted to really go and win these awards. He wanted to win every award. He wanted to destroy the NCAA so that everybody would know his name. Because he didn't know what would happen in the pros. He didn't know if pros would be there or not. And he really wanted to go for it in his junior year. So he was like, look, Coach Smith can only tell me so much. He's been holding me back. I got to explode this year. And he did. I mean, Dean Smith tried to reel him in as much as he could, but Michael was on a mission and Michael was destroying the league. It was not even close. Anybody who approached him, crushed just like grape. Michael was high flying, doing all these athletic moves. He's got ESPN. He's got everybody looking at him. So now they're saying, well, we hope you come back, but they knew Michael was gone. He talked to Coach Smith. He said, Michael, look, there's nothing more you could really get here. Because they didn't win the championship that year, and that really hurt Mike. He wanted to win an NCAA title and win it on his own terms, and he told him, he said, well, Michael, this personnel you got here, they just weren't ready for an NCAA title. They're young. They're not at your level. And if you come back next year, there's no guarantee the team's going to be any better because you're losing Perkins. We're losing three players already off this team. So coming back next year, you got a whole new team that's not really, they're just learning the game, basically. And that's going to take some time. That time. So for you, going pro is probably the best option. And going pro for Michael was never about the money. It just wasn't. Michael Jordan, well, he loved and breathed the sweat, the game of basketball. And if you don't have passions for this, you're not going to make it. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. And if you didn't have a passion for this, you're not going to make it. So going into this game, they looked at it and they said the draft sheet, they had the people that they were looking at they could get. They were hoping to get Olajuwon. They knew Olajuwon was gone at number one. It became the Sam Bowie or Michael Jordan, who they want to go with. The Bulls knew they wanted to grab a guard or a big man, but then you had Sam Perkins, big long arm Sam Perkins. That was another guy. But Jerry was like, this guy here is electric. And watching what he did in the ACC tournament, he turned everybody's heads and jumped on everybody's sheets and was like, okay, this guy is NBA ready. So without a doubt, they turned their attention towards, what we got to do? We have to put our focus, and if he's available, we're taking Michael Jordan at number 3. And Jordan is drafted to the Chicago Bulls. Now, a lot of you didn't know that the girlfriend that spoke to Michael Jordan, she drowned in a puddle of water in a car accident, um, going on vacation or leaving North Carolina. That same girlfriend that Michael used to date, she drowned. Who was trying to talk to him about structure and all of these different things, and not even a puddle of water. And Michael Jordan was always afraid of water, and that was one of his things that kept his fear, his psychological fear of being entrapped in water. Now he takes shower and wash up and things like that, but Michael do not like swimming. He don't really like being in the water. So, he didn't come up swimming. He didn't like it, and it wasn't part of his thing. So you wasn't going to see him in any swimming tournaments. And this will just be part one or the first installment. We'll continue this later. but I wanted to give you some details on some stories or some things that you might have heard and you might not have known. Okay, so we'll continue from there later on. And as always, you can click the link in the description box and leave a donation of any kind if you like. It's up to you. Send me a message or email, doesn't matter. And we out.